Cheers, everyone. Welcome to the Good Edit. I'm Chris Persky.
And I'm Elle Schwartz.
And before we even start, someone had a very special birthday over the weekend. So not only in the United States was it Thanksgiving, but Elle, your 29th birthday?
Yes, it's my 29th birthday times three. No, I'm just yes, I turned the ripe old age of 57 years old, which is
Ooh.
funny because I literally thought last year I was 57. I went to go fill out the retirement paperwork and they said, "Oh, you're 56 in 9 months." I said, "Wait, what?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this entire year I've aged myself." That's the kind of year I've had, folks. I
Well, I will.
really thought it was a year ahead.
Well, I in Pittsburgh, 57 is a very lucky number
Okay.
because of Heinz ketchup. So that's the number that's actually on every bottle when you hit it. If you hit the
Oh,
57 on a Heinz ketchup
I'm
bottle, if you
57.
find the 57, that's actually the secret to getting the ketchup out. A lot of people don't know that. So you literally use the palm of your hand, find the number 57 on the bottle. I know all these years, 57 years for you. You hit it and the ketchup comes out. People are putting knives and pens and things in their ketchup, their fingers and some other things probably.
Oh
And I'm
boy.
like, no, don't do that. Just hit the fun and the
And
ketchup
now we
comes
know.
out.
And now
There
we
you
know.
go.
Now we
You
know
can
how to
learn.
attack all those bottles of ketchup in my refrigerator. I don't know why we keep buying bottles of ketchup. But yeah, that's how I did. So we 57. And you know what? I'm happy. Anytime I can receive flowers in my hand and not on my gravesite, I'm very happy that it's my birthday. So I'm gonna keep celebrating every birthday. Come on, 58, where you at?
Oh, well, you look fantastic.
Thank you. I feel
Honestly,
fantastic.
I'm not too far behind you. So
Yes,
cheers.
yes.
Cheers
And
to you.
how was your Thanksgiving? Sure you did
Well,
something good.
I feel bad because I want to say that it was the best Thanksgiving of my life
Okay.
without, I mean, I didn't have any of my kids. No offense. I love them. I love them dearly. They're all older. And I wasn't around my family, back east. My husband and I went to the island nation of Curacao, right off the coast of Venezuela, right next to Aruba. Uh, Stayed at the Sandals property there. So shout out to everybody from Sandals Royal Curacao. I don't think I've had a
Nice.
better vacation in my life. Met three other couples that we're lifelong friends. We're actually all going to go to Vegas together in February. We all got along so well. So, I had a great time. So, just special shout out to Krista and Kevin from New York and Justin. Uh, oh my gosh, and Amanda. I'm sorry. It's the champagne
Right.
from
No
South
problem.
Carolina, and we met Abby and Will from Texas. They're wonderful as well. But the staff, everybody treated us so well. It was really difficult to come back to the States and to pay for food and to pay for drinks and to not have someone fulfill my every need like oh you need a towel on your chair, here we'll put it for you. I mean, whatever I needed, it was done. So it was the most relaxing vacation of my life. And for those of you that travel through LAX over the weekend, I am so sorry. The 18 hours getting home was a
Wow.
little insane. But you know what? I'm looking forward to the week ahead. I'm looking forward to getting back to the swing of things. So it was a great weekend, and it was just fun to wish you a happy birthday. And we've got to go on a trip together because our
We
husbands get along quite well. So that'd be
we
fun.
should go on a trip together. And you know what? Just real quick before we get into it, I one of our best trips that we've ever taken was to the Dominican Republic, where we met a lovely couple named Rose and Carl. Hey, Rose and Carl.
Nice.
And we've traveled together, and they're just so lovely. And so, yeah, you can make lifelong friends on those trips.
Hmm.
I
You
just love it
can.
for you. I just love it
Oh,
for you. So, yes, we are into it. The good edit. Uh, but before we get into that curious case of Erika Jayne that we are going to be,
hmm.
I just had a question for you. In my research, I
Go
was
for it.
trying to understand, before you can understand a housewife, you got to understand women. And so one of the things I came about and I kind of got locked in on was this idea of confident women and the role that she plays and how we see our and the role that confidence plays in how we see ourselves and how we see others and just women overall. What do you think about confident women? Because
Well, I will tell you,
it
they
can be very
have.
complex and polarizing. So I just want to hear your thoughts.
You're right. And confident women were the ones that raised me. I come from a divorced family, so I single parent household. I live with my mom, most of my life, and my older sister in many ways. She's slightly older, she looks younger, she's gorgeous. She really took on that parent role. And I will tell you, coming from poverty, coming from the divorced family, coming from growing up, they used to call where we grew up Heroin Alley. And to watch my sister at 17 put all that behind her, and she was class president, she was homecoming queen. And I remember going, if you can do these things, if you can get people to see beyond what we don't have. And she would walk in, we didn't have the best clothes, we didn't have, a lot of the we had our basic necessities, but a lot of things that we could have had, we didn't have. And my sister never made an excuse for it. And so, I mean, she got a full scholarship to college. Like I said, class president, homecoming queen, and now she's the first female CEO of a credit union in the state of Pennsylvania. And I mean, she keeps
Wow.
breaking barriers even before the age of 50. And she really taught me how to be confident and really to roll with the punches and know that you could get through anything. And, my other best friend. I mean, I have a couple. A lot of my girlfriends are going to kill me, but my newest best friend, I would say, she is a former Miss USA. And want to talk about adversity. Right after her year, she lost her hearing, and to be a spokesperson, to have a career that you were in the entertainment industry and you were doing all these things, to no longer being able to hear, and to really be able to take what happened to her and go, okay, I can be a spokesperson. And it catapulted her to a different area in her life right now. So to watch her go through the trials and tribulations that she's gone through and really own them and become a better person because of them and understand the world better, I think that's what makes someone confident. And I think that's what makes women cheer on women even more. How about you?
Yeah, first of all, I like that because it's choosing to show up perfectly imperfect despite perfectly
Yes.
imperfect circumstances and being okay with that and moving past that. It's choosing to show up on the world stage as Miss USA, perfectly imperfect. Hearing's not perfect, but she's still there, and just knowing that she has other assets to carry through. I have a good relationship with confidence, and I have a actually one of my best friends, his name is Confidence. Hey, Confidence. I
Oh,
have a good relationship with just the idea of confidence, the attribute of confidence, um, and it's really great. All of my friends, all of my close circle of friends are truly confident women. My parents didn't give me a choice but not to be confident. And talk about being confident in very adverse circumstances, growing up, not having a lot of friends, pretty much bullied, pretty much a loner, right? When you're bullied and people are making fun of you and saying that you don't fit this type or you don't fit this box, you really have a choice to make. You either fit in the boxes or you go it alone. And so I just chose to go it alone and be my same nerdy, kind of quirky, misunderstood self. And you know what? I like me a whole lot. I
well,
really
because I think it helps you build up you build up walls, but that's not always necessarily a bad thing. I think it
right.
allows you to kind of get an essence of who you are,
Yeah.
what you want to accomplish. And I think you can carry this yourself a lot better. I think when they see confidence, I think it just makes you more well-rounded. I think
Right.
it makes you
Right.
more attractive. I think it makes a lot of the wonderful things that the world has to offer. I think they come to you when you're more confident. I think when you're not, I think there's other things that could possibly happen to you. So confidence is key.
Confidence is key, and your relationship with other women who maybe have a sense of agency or confidence that you don't have, you have a choice. Do they choose to inspire you or do they choose to annoy you?
But let's be
Like
real,
what's
there's a big difference between confidence and arrogance. Okay. We're
yeah, there's
not talking about or cockiness. We're not talking about the same thing. So
and that's one attribute. I mean, when you think about it in the context of housewives, um, it's not really talked about enough. There's some housewives that, I mean, any housewife that chooses to be a housewife is confident, right? Right? And and some housewives probably have a layer of confidence that's really super intimidating to others. And the person
but
that comes, oh, go ahead.
no, I was going to say, but isn't that the interesting part? Confidence and intimidation. I had no idea that they were synonyms. Yet,
Mm.
for many people, we take those two words and we make them synonyms. and they're
Mhm.
not the same thing. Confidence is being able to carry yourself. Intimidation, are you using it's almost like a power trip. Confidence is key, but but power, I go back and forth with that. Intimidation, power, if you're trying to step on someone beneath you, possibly. But confidence, I think, is more just about how you carry yourself in situations, and you know your worth. Knowing your worth, I think, makes you rise above anybody else's opinion of who they think you are.
Right. And if you know your worth and you meet someone else, another woman or individual who is really just screaming with natural, authentic confidence, not what she's wearing, just who she is
Yeah.
as a persona, as a person, then you're less likely to be intimidated. You're more likely to be inspired, or you're more likely to celebrate her so that she wins. And it doesn't become about, you know, being jealous or trying to compare yourself. It's also almost a that person should inspire you to figure out how to be better.
Well, I reached out to my sister quite a bit. And one of the first, because we talked about in the intro video that we had done about my affiliation with pageants. And I will tell you this right now. One of the Miss Teen USAs that I will never forget, a teenager in the foster care system in 1993 from Vermont. She wore a dress that was $39.95. The commentators even said that it was too short for her foster care system, her foster mom, the people that adopted her weren't even there. She goes and she beats these girls that are taller than her, that had thousands of dollars worth of gowns and the jewels on. She goes in, just kind of carries herself. I remember her saying, "Yeah, after I work out, I go to Tasty Freeze," and that's a big East Coast thing. Okay, if you went to Tasty Freeze, that meant it wasn't necessarily the Dairy Queen, but it was a little bit of the cheaper version. But I love me some Tasty Freeze. And I will tell you, this girl goes on stage, and you know what she does? Not only does she win, but then she winds up writing a book about being lost in the foster care system. And she's
Mm.
meeting the attorney general at the time, which is Janet Reno. And really, she had a platform. So talk about, you know what? This is me. I'm showing up with whatever I can. And if I'm enough for you, I'm enough for you. And she did that. And I remember watching that going, that's confidence.
I
That's
love
not
that.
intimidation.
I love that she's okay to with being enough. And the thing is that, when we're young, we're kind of socialized to be agreeable, we're socialized to be polite, not to be too self-assured, but so when a woman comes in and she's owning her voice, she's owning her space, her power, it's really kind of being a disruption to every rule that we've grown up with. And it's a disruption to our own, it can be a disruption to our own agency unless you're truly okay with yourself. And so that confident woman almost becomes like this mirror. And the mirrors kind of force us to look at parts of ourselves that we haven't really consolidated yet, that we haven't really made peace with yet, that we feel, kind of unsure about. And we have a choice. Do we learn or do we tear down? Um,
And some of that has to
it,
deal with religion. I'm going to throw
yeah,
that out there,
yeah,
Elle. I
it
mean,
does.
some of that has to deal with religion, but yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, I was just thinking about confidence and how it shows up. And it led me to think about the dynamic, it led me to think about Erica, which is,
Okay.
it led
Tell
me to
me how, tell me why.
tell you why. It led me to think about Erica because Erica arrived on the scene in season 6, I believe it was episode 3,
Okay.
all the boxes in her life checked. And with or without
Mm.
those boxes, she arrived as a very jovial, kind of guarded, but a super, super confident person. She knew who she was. She was unapologetic about who she was. Some people called her guarded, but I think when you have a really um, high sense of self and a sense of agency, you do become guarded. You
Mhm.
do become a little bit of aloof because you're trying to protect everything that you've worked for. And not everybody deserves to have access to your life. Not everybody deserves to, see all the things and all those parts about you when they first meet you. It's
Mhm.
okay to be super aloof. And I think that I mean, it's pretty obvious that she played that she's just doing what a confident woman that I've always known confident women to do, just to kind of sit back, engage in polite society. I know who I am. I'm not going to get involved in all the things, but if you come for me, yes, you're going to hear about it, which again is another expression of confidence because you're going to protect yourself at all costs.
Always. And as human beings, not even just you yourself as a woman or, being a man, we have a public self and we have a private self.
Hmm.
We do. No
Hmm.
one could ever deny that. Who we are in public is not necessarily who we are in private. So, Erica, going on the Real Housewives, right? Even though she's a performer as Erika Jayne, because remember, big difference between the two there. Erica Girardi, Erika Jayne, right? Or Erika Jayne. That public and private self, when cameras are now rolling and those now have become intertwined, right? I mean, they're merging together. And sometimes the private parts of yourself, I know that sounds really sexual and I don't mean it to, but the
Not at
private
all.
parts of yourself, of your
But now
personality,
it does.
right? Now they become public. And now when that happens, there can be disarray and that level of confidence that you have because there are some people behind the scenes behind closed walls, they're the most confident people in the world, but in public they're not. Whether it's that they have a problem public speaking, whether they have certain issues or problems with, like, people can walk around their house in their underwear, but the minute they go in public they won't do it, or they'll be uncomfortable wearing a swimsuit, right? So it just goes back to public versus private. So in terms of our personality, in terms of Erica, I'm sure there were a lot of things that she probably wanted to keep private and she needed to keep private because of legal issues and other things that were going on. But back in season 6, as you're talking about when we first met her, when she came on the stage, I think it was getting an idea of who she was. I mean, and when you look at some of the girls that were on there at the time, like Eileen, who was on, I believe it was Young and the Restless for like so many years. When you put yourself out there on a television show, and you're showing what's going on in your private life and you're trying to merge, is this who people want me to be versus this is who I am? And when you have the confidence, not the cockiness, the confidence to be able to go, you know what, world, this is me. This is who I am. I have my ups and I have my downs. And that's exactly what happened with her and all the other Real Housewives. I can't imagine more strong, confident human beings. Even if there's a paycheck involved, no amount of money. There's a lot of people out there that would not sell themselves for a paycheck. So to be able to do that, to put your life out there, it takes a strong, confident, not only person, but woman to do so.
Just so I'm understanding the difference between confidence and cockiness is what to you? Because I think I understand it one way, but I want to make sure I understand it the way you say.
So I think confidence is more of knowing your imperfections and still being okay with, I'm going to show up the best version of myself right now. I can walk into a room and I can carry my own. I think cockiness is almost when you're looking down upon other people. You're waiting to pick at their faults so that you could feel superior to them. And I think once you do that, when you're confident, you don't feel that you're superior to anybody. You're almost competing with yourself. And I think cockiness is more of competing with others. I think that's where the two align. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's really well stated. I think to your point, confidence is I know who I am and I accept who I am, my perfections and my imperfections. And guess what? That gives me greater agency to accept who you are and whatever and however you show up and I meet you where you're at. And I'm not going to lord my confidence over you to make you feel like you're anything else other than um, fabulous, right? Or anything else other
Cheers.
as a fabulous human being that you are who are working through a perfectly imperfect human being, as you say.
Hmm.
Cockiness to me is lording over, is inciting competition with using your agency to be competitive with others, to put them down, to make them feel less than. And yeah, I was just super wondering about how you saw that.
Well, and I'm just going to
Yeah,
go back to
and
Pat
being,
Dempsey
oh,
one
I'm
more.
sorry.
Oh, no, go,
Sorry.
Pat, go,
And
go.
being a girl's girl, like,
Yes.
a confident woman is truly a girl's girl. And guess what? The other part about it is too, just in how you brought up a really good point about how that housewife has to show up amid all of the commentary and the criticism that they're going to get. I mean, Beverly Hills, as of the date of this recording this, has not. it's not aired yet, the new
Oh,
season
the new
of Real
season.
Housewives, right? But some of the newest Housewives, one in particular, is getting a lot of commentary already. She haven't even seen her on screen, haven't even given her a chance, and people have already have assumptions about her that may
Hmm.
or may not be true. Who knows, right? So no matter who she is, she's competent enough to show up on that camera and take the hits and get a paycheck to, you know, um, doing it. And it's almost like in real life, you can be a competent person and I'm thinking about times where I've shown up in spaces that are unfamiliar to me and I've gotten criticism or I've gotten a look and I've gotten rejection and I had to decide in that moment, am I going to take that on? Am I going to take that on? Or am I just going to be like, oh, okay, this is just another Tuesday?
You just need to continue being confidently
It just do you
beautiful.
continue being
That's what
confident?
you got to do. You
And
got to be
cockiness,
confident. Yeah.
yeah, cockiness is really the perverse version, the way you described it, of being insecure. It's really insecurity.
It's
It's not.
really what it is. It's really what it is.
Yeah.
So
So I,
luckily, I've always been confident.
yes, you have. So confidence, confidence, confidence.
Yes.
I can't think about confidence without thinking about Erika Jayne or
Okay.
Erika, as we know
Okay.
her. Um, because to me, when she first came on the screen, she was the epitome of confidence, right? But here's the thing, talking about her is a very courageous, confident act, a courageous act, an expression of confidence between me and you, actually, because there's not a lot of support for her. It's really hard. You have to dig deep to find humanistic people who kind of just get it. And so before we talk about like her entire story, I think it'd be kind of fun to just to talk about a little bit about why fans love her first, and then we'll get into why fans don't. And let's just kind of start there. Um, what we know is that people love to debate Erica.
Hmm.
They love to dissect her. They love to drag her, decode her. Very few people like to actually defend her. And what is really fascinating about her is that she's not afraid to live in what's considered a duality, really a triality. There's Erica
Hmm.
from Georgia, who is the good friend. There's Erika Girardi. There was Erika Girardi, the dutiful wife. And then there was Erika Jayne, the alter ego, right? And so
Hmm.
um, I am just going to put it out there that in order to handle that triality, I don't know if that's a word, but I just literally made it
I like it.
up. In order to handle that
Word of the
triality,
year.
there needs to be a thread of consistency, a confidence in yourself that allows you to move in and out of those roles pretty seamlessly in spite of and despite all of the negative commentary that you're probably going to receive no matter what role you're playing, right? So it's just better just to live out loud.
Well, don't you think it's poison though and I think as human beings, I think we tend to do this quite a bit, but the more you listen to what other people think of you, you if you're not careful, you're going to start believing it. And you just said right now, there's so many people, the majority feels this way. The majority isn't necessarily right.
Mhm.
Just because there's the more people believe a certain way doesn't mean that it's right. I think, how many times in my life I might be in the minority of people that might agree or disagree with things that are going on in my life. I don't care what the majority thinks. I care about who I am, what I portray. And Erica, I think, did that. Yes, I think there were things in her life that I think she had to protect from a legal perspective, right? I think there was a certain image that she had to have as a performer because that was part of her work. And then for what, she wanted for her private self or for her friendships. But I think as human beings, we all want that. And I think what makes her so powerful is she's able to live all three of those lives. And how many of us are, quote, closeted that we don't get the opportunity to do that beyond the walls of our own homes? So when someone's going out there, they're putting themselves out there, whether it's on a television show, whether it's out in public, with a group of friends, or whether it's at work, when you carry the confidence that you could walk into a room, even if things are going good or bad in your life, and you can still show up, you're successful. And when people are effective, their voice, their personalities, the way that they carry themselves, when you're effective, people are intimidated by that. And I think it goes back to when you're effective, people will listen, people are going to have an opinion, but you've now put yourself up almost on a pedestal. And it doesn't mean that you meant to do it that way, but if you've done it, so be it. So I think, for me, I want more people in my life that show up and are confident and are able to show me who they are in all phases of life. I don't want people that are going to be fake nice.
Right.
They have what's that thing when people say they have an
Nice guy.
intention, right? They have an intention behind why they say certain things to me. I don't want someone to pretend. So for Erica to kind of put everything out there, if you watch it from season 6 to season 14 and you watch the progression, now, of course, in certain phases in your life, when things aren't going well, your personality is going to be a little different. So you might spout off to someone. You might be a little short tempered. You might be a little angry. You might not feel like being as social. That doesn't mean you're not the same person. It means you're going through something. And when you're confident enough to tell people, I'm not my best right now, but I will be okay. Like I lost my father 6 months ago. And I will tell you, when the first thing I did when I came home, I told my kids, I am not me right now. I know I'm not me right now. So if I'm not me, if I'm going too much in one direction, call me out on it, but no, it's not intentional. And
Yeah.
I don't know why we can't give people grace when
When
they've
we,
been blindsided by something that's happened in their lives or that someone does to you. I've been through a divorce too. So I've gone through those things. Why we're not giving the grace to not just women, but people in general, that's what makes me sad.
that's so funny because I was on Reddit this morning and a fan posed a very interesting question and just was outwardly saying, I like Erica and here's why I like her and I think she deserves some grace. And the Redditors immediately went in, Grace, those two words, Grace and Erica, are two words that should never go together. And it's just this entire like,
Hmm.
you know, they went on this rabbit hole of not offering grace. But here's the thing, you know, when I think about her coming onto the screen in season 6, I believe it was episode 3. Um, First, let's just put it out there. She came into a Housewives atmosphere with other icons. You have Kyle, you had LVP,
Hmm.
Eileen, Lisa Rinna. She met Bethany all within the same season.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, this
Hmm.
is a gorgeous group of icons. So she's an icon among a land of icons. And she sparked different reactions from different women. She was immediately a fan fave of Eileen. Rinna had a curiosity about her, and what I like about Rinna is that she admitted, yeah, I judged her. Yeah, she was
Yeah.
passionate. I judged her, but I like her. She put that aside. She checked in with herself and decided to get to know her. And she, on the other side of that, she found a friend who, emotes the same, embodies the same kind of confidence that she, and kind of carefree attitude, not taking
Right.
herself so seriously, attitude as she does. Um, Yolanda was icon, forgot about her. So she kind of burst on the scene, and there's two different reactions. There's people that really got her, and then
Hmm.
there's people that were very wary and curious of her and wasn't really sure how to proceed with someone that is so composed and so appearing aloof and maybe appearing arrogant, but just really guarded. It was so important for them to break past that guardedness for whatever reason, and not just really respecting that that's where she was at, given that this is a whole new landscape. And it was kind
Do
of
you think it was because of her marriage? Do you think it was because she was a much younger woman marrying a much older man? Do you think those opinions are just because everything that was the starting point? And then just her ability to put herself out there, it just amplified and went, well, I would never marry someone 35 years older. And now Erica has this persona of, as Eric, she has, Erika Jayne. So now you're seeing all these other pieces to her, but people weren't able to get beyond that. It was the judgment of that
well, well,
carrying over into that.
yes, I think. Well, first of all, I hate it when people say, I would never do that. You don't know what you would do. You are not in that
Exactly.
situation. Sit down and wait for your turn to come up and then come back and let us know what you
Yes.
would not do. But I digress. I hate it when people say that. But, she comes onto the screen. She's not only internally confident with herself, she's absolutely gorgeous. She's stunning.
Hmm.
freakishly stunning character. She's smart. She's composed and polite and has a bit of poise to her, which is lovely. She's got a ton of money. She's living a fantasy lifestyle. She has a husband that loves her, that, at the time doted on her and gave her everything that she wanted, and there was love there. Oh, wait, you have it all? Oh, you're not supposed to have it all. No, I'm going to teach you
Hmm.
not to have it all because guess what? Women and people have opinions about women that other women that have it all. Like they really need to, it's something like it ticks off a challenge in their brain or disrupts their psyche. People are challenged by that notion. And so
You could have it all though and
you
still
can
be lonely.
you can have it all and still be lonely, but she had all of the things. And so when person has it all, there's assumptions that are made about that, believe it or not, from a negative space. People need to believe that there's something about her that she's a gold digger. People need to believe that she's cocky. People need to believe all these things um, so that they can feel better about what they're seeing and feel better about themselves in relation to that person. It's called confirmation bias, the chef's kiss for many viewers that are
Eh,
on.
Well, and how many of those people would actually go up to her face and say the things that they actually wrote?
Right.
I would I would debate very few. So like we are in the day and age right now, we really are. We are hiding behind fake profiles. We're able to say what we really want to say, but we don't do it in person. Did you ever notice too, like the communication that we have in our country right now, even around the world, so much of it is done through via text. Very few of it is done like this, where you are on camera. You are showing up, you're in person, which is what Eric is doing. She's on camera, she's in front. That's got to be for many people a very frightening experience, but at the same time, that gives them the ability to jump on her because anytime someone's different, they have a different path. They want something maybe bigger than what they were. They want to be a little different. Here we are.
Mhm.
We're coming at them with claws, right? And there's nobody that does that better than people that are hiding behind their keyboards. And we have to be very careful. I would never write something down for the public to see that I didn't stand by 100%, that I wouldn't show my face towards. So it kind of scares me sometimes that people are so comfortable being nasty
Oh yeah, it's a
without the
safe space.
facts.
It's a
Without the
safe space
facts.
these days.
Yeah, yeah. It's a safe space to tear someone down.
And you
That
know
is
what's
not a
not
good
safe?
edit. That's not a good edit.
That's not a good edit. And we might be going off topic a bit, but you know what's not safe for me is that when I've been in these threads about her, um, and I want to offer this humanistic, let's look at this differently kind of commentary, I don't feel safe offering that commentary because I'm going to get I'm I'm gonna get eviscerated in the comment. And
Mm,
I've learned like not to care, and I've also learned not to care enough to post. I've learned just to read and how to make an inference based on what I'm reading. But yeah, it's not even a safe space to even be authentic in your point of view, which is just as valid, right? So I just think, one of the things that stands out about her just is or any woman that exudes confidence is that when a woman who walks into a room and she is certain, she has agency, she has a clear voice, strong posture, she's got this unshaken belief about who she is. The viewers don't see confidence because that's unknown to them. Very few women can show up like that. We live in a society where I'm going to just put out there, women like to conform to whatever is new. Go on
mm.
subreddit that talks about health and beauty and what purse I should. It's all about conformity. Should I buy this because I don't know what people are going to think? Very few.
Image.
Image, right? It takes a lot of guts to show up and to be resolute in yourself and to stand by that and not want to conform. My mom does that really well. She is not a conformist. I think that's where I learned it from. My husband's not a conformist. We stand in our individuality. You love us, like us, whatever. It doesn't matter to us.
What do you
You
think
know?
helped Erica build her armor? What made her stronger? Because I think when people view you as a stronger person, I think if we looked at things through the lens of what made Erica so strong, What do you think were some of the things that caused her to be able to cause such a reaction with so many other people?
When you mean when she was in the beginning of her housewife experience?
Yes, yes, at the very beginning, because to show up that way, like what caused her to get the reaction that she did from the housewives and also from the fans from the
Well,
very beginning?
let's end on that note because we're going to jump into that in our next episode. So stay tuned.
Oh,
But I will say that we'll end with this is that in certain circles, like I said, women are conformist. You kind of conform to the order of the day, right? And this woman walks in not willing to conform. She wanted people to, people had to organize around her confidence and she was not organizing around them. And some women had varying levels of degrees of confidence on that show when they entered in her space and they were a little bit rattled. And when you get a little bit rattled, that means that something in you needs to change. And people don't always want to change. They, they just kind of want to stay the same. So, um, I'm probably not answering your question,
you're
but I
no, it's
think
a
she was
tease. You're
something
a
different.
tease. You're a tease.
I think she
Yes.
was something different. And I think also to give credit to her mother, Renee, her mother built her up to have this kind of armor and taught her at
That's
a very
it.
young age
You
how
answered the
to walk
question.
into a room and to be resolute in yourself. And that unnerved people. That's my short answer. Anyways, thank you so much for listening to The Good Edit. And where can they find us on our socials, Chris?
Oh, well, Instagram, TGE underscore. Remember, don't spell it out. There's actually an underscore. So TGE underscore the good edit.
You can,
And
and you can also find us on Apple, Spotify, and iHeart, or wherever you listen to your podcast. And don't forget to check out our video feed over on our YouTube channel at the Good Edit 25.
see, I never knew I was this popular. Just kidding.
Goodness. Okay, take us out with one of your great good edit taglines.
Oh my gosh. For me, I mean, I'd have to really think about this. I'd have to get back
Your
to you.
edit is the
Usually,
only, you know what? Your edit
no,
is the only edit that matters.
my edit is the only edit that matters. So stop tape.
Consider it done. See ya.